2023. My name is Charles Mangushampagi. Of course, a few tragedies as we ended the year 2022 that are quite regrettable, especially accidents on the roads, the road carnage, and what we saw happening as we welcome the new year at Freedom City in just in Kampala. I think the death toll there is at 10, and of course that very nasty accident in Buloba that took out 3 members of the same family, of the Mugamba family, who happened to come from where I come from in Utete sub-county, and that was very tragic. But tonight we continue the discussion. The opposition's attempt to launch a major start to the new year was scuttled by the police. The prayers that had been called to welcome the new year, to end the old year and also welcome the new year, were scuttled by the police, sparking off a series of events that have been dominating political discussion over the last few days. One of them is comments made by the Lord Mayor, Elias Lukwago, and cheats that have been emerging. I think 2 of them so far. The question is, will the opposition see through its plans for Ulster in the year 2023? My guests, I have the Honorable Francis Mwizuche. He represents the people of Buhweju constituency in Parliament. Very nice to have you.
Thank you very much, Charles, and good evening, viewers. I am happy to be at this show.
The Honorable Mwizuche is a member of the Forum for Democratic Change. From Kasese and a frontliner, we have from the Alliance for National Transformation, former leader of opposition in Parliament, from Kasese Woman MP, the Honorable Winfred Kiza. Very nice to have you.
Thank you, Charles, and good evening, viewers. Once again, Happy New Year.
We are in his constituency. He represents the National Unity Platform in the 11th Parliament. He's spokesperson for the party and also chairperson of the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament. The Honorable Besekezi? Besekezi. Eh? Joel Senyonyi, very nice to have you.
Very firm name.
Yes.
Thanks, Charles. Good evening to you, colleagues here, and the viewers out there.
And all the way from Kanungu, Chinchi's East constituency. He represents the people of Western Uganda on the Central Executive Committee of the National Resistance Movement and is Minister for Information and National Guidance, ICT and National Guidance. The Honorable Dr. Chris Bariomo, very nice to have you.
Thank you very much, Charles, and good evening, fellow panelists, and good evening, viewers. Happy New Year. I am happy to be back here.
Thank you.
On the front line. Yes.
And we have a special guest who's joining us by a link all the way from Kasangati, Dr. Kiza Besigye. Welcome to the NBS Frontline.
Thank you very much. A very good evening to all those who are tuned in. A Happy New Year. And I'm expressing also my sympathies to all those who have had serious challenges as we concluded last year. And we hope that we will have a better year this year.
Thank you. Dr. Besigye, I want to start with you. Thank you for joining us. Also, great to have you join us on this show, on the very first show of the year 2023. Our discussion with you, and my first question to you is, by far you've been one of the most consistent opposition figures in the country, at the center of national politics, and you were in Zambia at the launch of, for those prayers, which were supposed to launch you into the year 2023. Of course, that effort was scuttled by the police. What does this mean to your efforts to revamp opposition activity in this year?
Well, thank you very much. And maybe I should first sort of make a comment in passing on what you presented as your intro, saying that this year maybe we intend to give a bloody nose to the ruling junta, and also that we want, our mission is to deliver Uganda into a political Canaan, land of Canaan. I think both are misrepresentations. First of all, associating what we do with anything bloody is a misrepresentation, even if it is a metaphor, because we have stated and restated and demonstrated indeed that we are a peaceful lot and our means of seeking change are non-violent. But without doubt, we are confronting very violent people who, in fact, assumed responsibility of governing Uganda through violence and have maintained that power through violence. Therefore, we will definitely have bloody noses on our side, but we will not be inflicting any bloody nose on anybody. That does not mean to say that we are not determined and that we don't have the potency to overturn the power that has been held in the family of Mr. Museveni for the last 37 years. That is our mission. Our mission is to end the family rule of Mr. Museveni using force over Uganda and to bring that power to be exercised democratically by the people of Uganda. So it will be the people of Uganda, if they can regain power in their country, regain influence, it is the people of Uganda to determine what type of Uganda they want. If it is the Canaan, they will be themselves taking themselves to that land. Now, having said that, what happened on Friday when we went to Zambia, I think is a demonstration of the state of affairs that we are seeking to change. There is absolutely no doubt, and I hope that this conversation you are going to have, which I won't have the opportunity to be continuing with, because as I indicated, I only have the opening statements, but I will not continue within the discussion. The discussion, to my mind, should interrogate the nature of the state of Uganda. Because when you even talk about opposition, it presupposes that there is free contestation, and there are those who have won to lead government, and there are those who are in opposition. That is not the state of affairs of the country Uganda we are talking about. Last year we celebrated 60 years of independence. And in those 60 years, which include the 37 of NRM junta, we have never seen any leader that has been freely and democratically put in the office of governing the country of Uganda as the leader of our country. Every leader that has entered State House has done so with the use of guns. Of course, once they are there, they stay there with all kinds of gimmicks, and more especially by using force and patronage, because they control our wealth and they use our wealth and our guns to make a stronghold on the country and stay in power. The people of Uganda in the last 60 years have never removed any leader from office. All leaders have been removed by force of arms. What does that say to the country we are talking about? It means that we have citizens that frankly have no voice. We have institutions, and I think the last 37 years demonstrate what type of institutions we have. If we talk about the three arms of government, in the last 37 years, we have seen the military in broad daylight, covered by television, attack the courts of Uganda, the one arm of the state of Uganda, attacked by the military, and people beaten, the blood flowing on the carpets of the Chief Justice and so on. And this was not once. So we have a judiciary that is terrorized officially by the military that captured state power in Uganda. We have a parliament that was invaded, again in broad daylight, by people who descended on it from the office of the president and caused mayhem. And we had the Speaker of Parliament write to Mr. Museveni, who sits in the office of the president, demanding an explanation of who these people were, since she had not invited anybody from the military or any other place to come to parliament. So these people are clearly invaders of the house, which constitutes the representation of the entire population of Uganda, the supreme organ of state, because that's the representation of the entire people of Uganda. If it was attacked, we have never had any interrogation of who attacked parliament or any sanctions, let alone those who attacked the courts of law. So this is the kind of state where we are, where all institutions have been emasculated and subjugated by those who exercise the force on behalf of the family of Mr. Museveni.
I hear you. That's quite a huge, long introduction, opening statement that you've made. The question is, looking back to the opposition, the political opposition, where you sit and have been consistent for the last 20 years, you, in your own words, you say you have the potency to challenge. You also talk about delivering Ugandans to the political canon. The question is, what is it that you have in this year to deliver? What is that potency that you think you have now to deliver Ugandans to where you're saying, that political canon you talked about?
Well, the potency is that of the people of Uganda, which is definitely similar to the potency of all peoples of the world in whatever country you may talk about. Let's not forget that our history and our trajectory is not very different from what has happened in other countries, which liberated themselves from stranglehold by those who controlled power by force, patrimonial regimes, which had, absolute monarchs like what we have now here in Uganda, the monarch of a family governing the country. And I think the events you are talking about of Zambia adequately demonstrate that, because when the Lord Mayor, Salongwe Lukwago, among other things, pointed out the aspect of family rule relating to one General Saleh, who in the major scheme of things in the structure of government, I think he is maybe an advisor to the president and leading, I don't know, where it's something, but who has no, protocol-related power that he exercises over all things. And to confirm that, he then writes a letter to say he has been giving political support, which has been keeping the Lord Mayor in office. You can imagine, that some